In 2024, I will call it dedication under 2025 is the number 1 on it. Health is number 2. Interior is number 4. Then Office of Government Machinery is number 5. I want to tell you, 2024, education is number 1. Health number 2. Roads number 4. And defense number 5. Their own budget statement. If you want to go to if you want to check 1C, paragraph 2.1, under construction. That you say you constructed is not true. I am not saying it. I have the report here. They should read. Construction sector. The performance of the construction sector in your own budget is 9.6. From Ofanko to Nsawam is being constructed. If you see that major roads, if you see Aflao, Tema to Aflao is being done. If you see it's being done. Then, Mr. Speaker, you should know how much the previous government have spent in making sure that it is sad that a government that got of Ghanaians
Koko Asante, you know, we gave you a match, and then somebody was quoting inflation to be 94%. Next time, never. You say inflation to GDP at 94%. Inflation to GDP, 94%.
Leader.
Is that what you were taught?
Leader.
Is that what you were taught in majority?
Minority leader.
Inflation to GDP, 94%.
Minority leader.
Don't make that mistake in this chamber again.
Mr. Speaker, this budget is a clear reflection of the glaring inconsistencies between the lofty promises made by the NDC government and the harsh reality that they presented to Ghanaians. In effect, Mr. Speaker, the big push couldn't push. Yes, the big push couldn't push. The big push could not push. Mr. Speaker, the NDC government campaigned heavily on the cost of living, promising to abolish and also rationalize some 14 taxes, outlined in their manifesto to ease the burden on Ghanaians. However, when it came to actual implementation, they only abolished, in effect, 3. That's all they abolished, falling far short of their grand promises. Mr. Speaker, the 2025 budget statement has failed to deliver on the government's promise to ease the cost of doing business, particularly at the ports. Despite the government's assurances and commitment to rationalize the port taxes, fees, and charges, the budget is completely devoid on this issue. No major downward adjustments to port fees or import fees have been announced, leaving the business community deeply disappointed. Mr. Speaker, when the Finance Minister presented the 2025 budget, we expected bold, clear policies to fulfill the government's promises. Instead, we heard vague references to adjustments, a term that in reality signals even higher costs for Ghanaian businesses and consumers. So, Mr. Speaker, instead, the government has extended the special import levy from 2024 to 2028. This conflicting approach by the government of extending, on the one hand, an import levy from 2025 to 2028, while promising tax rationalization or reduction, raises concerns about the government's commitment to reducing the cost of doing business. The business community deserves clarity, consistency, and policies that truly support economic expansion. Mr. Speaker, the reality is that electricity prices are set to rise. Specifically, paragraph 254 of the budget statement reveals that there will be an increase in electricity tariffs in the fourth quarter of 2025 and every quarter thereafter. Mr. Speaker, energy prices will go up as the government has removed subsidies of gas prices, thereby increasing the weighted average cost of gas from $7.8 to $8.45. Mr. Speaker, it is the ordinary Ghanaian citizens who is going to bear the effect of these increases. Mr. Speaker, the other thing is under the government's decision to increase the growth and sustainability levy from 1% to 3% for mining companies and extending its sunset clause from 2025 to 2028 presents a significant challenge for businesses, particularly in the mining sector. For businesses, this tax hike means increased operational costs, potential reduction in investments, and possible job losses in the sector. A more strategic approach, Mr. Speaker, would have been to negotiate an increase in mining royalties, which are deductible for corporate tax purposes, to achieve the same revenue generation without imposing excessive strain on businesses. Ultimately, while revenue mobilization is necessary, it must be balanced with policies that encourage business growth and investment. Overburdening businesses with additional taxes, particularly in sectors that drive economic growth, could have long-term negative effects on Ghana's economic stability and job creation. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget, paragraph 657, the NDC government talks of expanding pension coverage of the informal sector through the NPRA, the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. The NPP government, I think it'll be worthy to note here that the NPP government
tell people that the devil is in the detail. Always look in of inflation. So please, you should know better. Mr. Speaker, again, my brother on the other side, Honorable Adongo, mentioned the fact that we are not going to borrow, but you have 700 million coming from IMF and 600 million coming from the World Bank. What is that? Is that free money or is that your own money in US dollars? I always tell people that the devil is in the detail. Always look in the appendices and then you find what they mean by that. Mr. Speaker, again, in 2016, this government increased their debt from 2009 to 2016 by 20 billion. And what did this result in? It resulted in a dip in the GDP by 8.8 billion Ghana cedis. This same 20 billion is what we put on our debt from 2017 to 2024. And what did we do? We rather added $20 billion to our GDP. Now GDP is 1.2 trillion Ghana cedis. 1.2 trillion Ghana cedis. I know they always come up with one thing or the other, but facts are sacred, Mr. Speaker, and it has found its way in their budget. Mr. Speaker, let me come to one thing that is really of a bother to me. I heard my former minister talk about it, and I also want to talk about it. That is the issue of expenditure. Mr. Speaker, they presented to us, to the people of Ghana, that this government is a government that was going to rationalize expenditure and cut waste. But Mr. Speaker, they should tell us where in this budget have they rationalized expenditure? Where in this budget have they cut waste? Rather, they have sought to add 43.5 billion Ghana cedis to the expenditure budget. This is not Abna saying it. This is your budget speaking to that. Mr. Speaker, they are hoping that at the end of appropriation, we will give them the permission to spend 290 billion Ghana cedis. When, Mr. Speaker, this year is not an election year, so there are certain expenditures that they are not going to incur. We, in an election year, did an appropriation of 250 billion. So when you come and you tell Ghanaians that you are rationalizing expenditure and you are cutting waste, what are you doing? Mr. Speaker, again, to be honest with you, I was hoping that the NDC would take advantage of the goodwill that the Ghanaians gave to them and voted massively for them to really show us some real cuts that will promote fiscal discipline and endure economic growth. But what have we seen? Spending spree, Mr. Speaker, spending spree. Most of this is being seen in fattened salaries at the office of the president, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was hoping that they will come and then claim the waste in the system. They claim there was waste in the system in 2024. So I was hoping that they will come and cut things and make sure that the people of Ghana, get what is due them. But Mr. Speaker, what do we see? We see 2.7 billion increase in the office of the president's salaries alone. And then they want to explain it away with the fact that it is Ministry of Information that they added. There are 76 directors and staff that they added from the Ministry of Information that has resulted in that huge 2.7 billion allocation to them. But Mr. Speaker, facts are sacred. When you look at the budget for OGM in 2024, SIGA was part of OGM. The Internal Audit Agency was part of OGM. Mr. Speaker, Scholarship Secretariat was part of OGM. There were quite a number of ministries as well as the development authorities. They were all part of OGM. But today, they are no more under OGM. So you ask yourself, all these ministries have been scrapped or agencies have been taken. How come you still have 2.7 billion under Office of Government?
I want to be radio 95.9. That's a way. And of Parliament for Dominic Binya
Honorable Sarah Adwasafo etisi abontin ba kurum se ono so be kasa kakra na obaye ha oba no so no ma menya de be kra quickly nya de se metaye but I think say metimi INCCA oba no so no ye ne di enkomo se be bedu asa wo fru bi abo aba studio wa enkomo a obeso de ne die no mutimi echechire se we na mpesa mo ka ho asem ane ne akolo prepare ba enti enkomo a Honorable Sarah Adwasafo eba ye ne ndikase bedie no na eyebe enema be insia ba ko ye Sarah Adwasafo's political journey past, present and future ba ko so na make say be busalon her absence from parliament when the e-levy and major policy of a government were being considered and the future of MPP as a party and then parliamentary defeat Domiko Abinya say we lose seat no and then generally the MPP's defeat 2024 elections and family business what I say family business and so yeah can find 7 the 6th one was family business and in the new role will play with the busuamu brand papa equal retirement no and then the 7th one was the performance of NDC in government I was ampachosa enema ensuring. Do you think Sarah Adwasafo won't qualify for this kind of answer? What qualifies they also will qualify no? Yes, enti now will be for the first time in the history of Ghana's politics since 1992 ever say deputy majority leader Oba. While rising to that rank said deputy majority leader, not NDC, deputy majority leader of MPP. Enti any agent say one also won that gravitas and they say we buy a program so near any dinkobo. This were the 7 thematic areas you can say you be a home kobo. Many a me would say me and I was a make back at you say Ebia Nensembia wo kan ye no Ebia anya wo de Ebia ebroso kakra but de anya wo de kwa so aye obi so de sa na wiasete de anya wo de no aya obi so de bajo wo fie na se obi bi wu a esu na aba fie wa arehwa aba fie ba carpenter na wote wo fichire na wono so ye fundaka no na ni age se obenya bibia ma wono so busu adidi eti wo busu ni na wawuo no obi so ebe benefit for me wuo no undertaker so ba benefit o Paul Beres so ba benefit o eti ewiase ade bia no esi wiase a the whole world everybody will be happy. It doesn't happen like that. Diversity, that it doesn't happen like that. People must be tolerant of dissenting views. Because let me tell you, you are not the standard. Nobody is the standard in this world. I'm telling you, that is a fact. Nobody is the standard. International diplomacy ma Kofi Annan ya wajidi din ewo UN mema ko UN General Assembly da ba ko twice. Eti minimum se wura UN New York wura de bo holma said the enkofo epe Kofi Annan asem. But udu ukwa bia Palestinians ni adadan so holum so a omo so wo misgivings about Kofi Annan. Ebe mu chese no he was too diplomatic be honest ko yi na nimo mu yesei sa na tie. Hey, university that will qualify we feel and say wo ko university no. Wo ka so busu afo ni obi ani na niji ho ana. Hwe, wo ka so wo ye na wawana no ho fefe no. Wo ka so sa obi ani ji ho. Wo na afọ ko bi tan. I am telling you that is the fact. Enti don't be mistaken say asamba ebe you obi ade. Adwobe kasa wa ha. In fact, that day no ye fly na air fly with you no. And na wo call asempa. First tetene na na yes enkobo radio station bidin media house BDS now man popularity no but modern day you na yewro mu de me contemporary politics inside contemporary journalism you bodin as your source. It doesn't take away anything. The day that was Wednesday now we buy Obeka na nsema Bɛkyerɛ no na bi mafrɛ egode na enra adwasebo kwa kana sempa no man ti se wokan se de na na mo man ne kwa man ba ana me se patwo me mantie ana se bi wo kwa wonkwa ye me na wa ye me kropa me man opportunity na ba Bɛkyerɛ na me so betima ka madwen akyerɛ no enti na fe no Bɛkyerɛ mu no eda na adwo ba me ka kyerɛ se me nim adwo da me ka kyerɛ se adwo So what is one make a who said me, oh, a best in the make us say you were different party. Wednesday night told her. In fact, many dim come over office and sat lower best you. Or best those the rose was say, hey, honorable, now and someone ye kafa who had what was it there was said that occasion one day as diplomatic and politician, savvy politician that she is. Was one day. But we was the room, Martin, you know, Musi and you medi, Musi and you said this about Martina, but I thought to say something, but not Medinchi Chimuba. Well, we are here and now. Thanks. Well, we are now a friend say, General Secretary of MPP. At this statement, Bob wanted say, I fed ye, ma will be a MPP as some a war media no mubium, will be a new demo be in Casa. That day, no, so that one so echo, I said, do program on so. And we call a radio station as a TV station. Wakasai. Yams one Casaburn ye and a crater by say that a benefit to a safreno, so ma this man could be tea and him. And now a Georgie guy. Media and any reaction I may make. I'm talking about the totality of the friend say the action of the General Secretary of MPP, and I say MPP as a general because say General Secretary tried their MPP natural. A sanity. Mesre MPP from Pennyfo. Mamonka will be a Casabua and Senigim. Mesremo. Che political defeat near Bayern, a binsi down. This is the second political, this is the first heavier defeat. Not John Muhammad, then the second. 2016, the end was the first most heaviest defeat. And now 2024, the Abe surpassed that of 2016. And yes, very humongous. And yes, a better by say, and this is that I suffer a very heavy defeat. Eti aba enkofo hu bi da yankofo nwanwa. Enkofo nya BP. Enkofo mu BP kofo ma start ekosoro. Enkofo business egu. Enkofo ni da so nyina enkofo afamawu. Enkofo opportunities, omu projections o maye say, meye say. Na nyina afamuko. Matia, eti, ekofo kasa, allow them, let them vent, please, let them vent. They say, I didn't say ekofo ama omobu nyina ye ma. When I say let them vent, ma MPA ventilation, ma MPA through manumumra. Na omunya humekoko, maka eye, life goes on. But what the some of force of say, and so mumwa, na omakuma, a young muyana, a buffoni bamo. For me, I will still appeal to MPP leadership, say, allow people to vent. However, what we are MPP ni, ya would you say, assembly how party num, and 2% will cash our bontino. Won't also consider say, assembly now will becano, and then papa moon nebeba, and I say, de perepe ye beba another income beba busa won sa question no ansa na mo so atia sia bonte because we MPP na wo gidi sasema beka no wo ka wie na de papa mu mo beba de a ene wan kan keye na je se won po de why more the service to the party more than obia et won so consider wo say asema meka na bonte no et say e de papa mu beba ana se e de income beba won so consider wo a 50-50. It should be a win-win situation for Obia, the party, and people within the party. And a win-lose situation. The party must win. Individuals in the party must win. One individuals within the party win, no. A hot and a member party a winning. It's a mystery. There's no way you can rescind that decision. But mystery say, Oba. Munya de brebre say asembe kan ye kama because me I was thinking about its enforceability. Ye ka se ma obi nka party sem no wa abonte a party sem na de hia party asema ma obi nka na abonte no eye de hia na wo mo nka na abonte no ya stick do hefa. Have you itemized the name ma me nka na abonte no wana ma itemize minim. So be catch say, me did say, be a partner call ye no, election there call ye no, maybe a born your mother do. Yanos wakam boniana. Waka say, one man did not about me to Quanon. Now, what did he say? Be Brenuko Padre, Bonu Mutimus, wakam boniana. wakacha we say na MPP for executives na say appointees no na womo entantieti efom nkomo emma efom fo no so ani nyia yele so waka bone ana ensem no doso etimesremo. Now I'm not sure say a general secretary pa uja human say Justice Kodua lawyer enema be no bi kan no party mu a e opa do bi kan abonten a ye no was a party ne friend no a I'm not sure he can itemize everything. Obetima cite examples, but examples will not be exhaustive enough. Say it to be all encapsulating. Say beka bibia. I should say listening ye. Na I feel that we kwaya. I say hey, as some person me case. I will listen more. Na ebi ya frame me. Eti mesemo monyen adwebre. And e bedin komo bebre. Bedin komo bebre wo hono. NDC for budget omo de ba bonten. MPP for minority leaders, minority members. Look, Metimusa sorry. Maya de papa mwana musha movement TV. Musha for about 20 minutes running. Na ye bo almost in a debate, almost a commentary and go for running our parliament. Na ye Bobby a championing for a Bobby who say very no kasa, former finance minister, Dr. Minan Tanua Kasa, former minister of state and finance ministry, Abno Asare, Tiwa East MP, no Kasa, Stephen Amwa, Dr. Stephen Amwa, former deputy minister of finance ministry, member of parliament for Ishaya, so no Kasa. What do we say? Yes, MP, first sorry Kasa, speaking to data. Omomi ensa wie ye no na kojo pon kroma ma sori no makasa Dr. Gido Bako no ma sori no makasa member of parliament for Etiwa West Lorette Koko Asante no so asori no wakasa which say brofu nie enya brofu hu no brofu a bad with data na this for sori a omonyo MPP for our parliament. I must say you are giving hope to the party monkoso na munye. This week my back home ben prince. My tise mama womo aba palme ben mienu ni miensa no mentor womo first time is no. Mata na matie. Enrich is me new first time is bi di nkoma mo ma confirm say ma sign womo aba palme 2-3 times and the amom say they should mentor them and guide them because parliament dey. What being said day we saw first time wo na me bi say wusua. Omusia and I think say kudos to MPP minority leadership no one first time is no so mayadi munkoso time no ko ebo maachi akwaba bra mejoso na me wo enko bi di efa Anas versus Honorable Kennedy Japan asem na course ewo US no but e be she free bi na time kakra bi a na mate follow wo hu ye nyame adom so ho ye oh nyame adom ho de ho obasa ndi mu odum Abasan mood. By week no koye. Akoso mo side hono. What that's what is a butchery. Solid. And for that so bejo money wo. Solid. Sa you need sisi hono fefe. I'm said sa you need sisi hono. Oh okay. I want to be who a CEOs from aba omoba bejo money. Oh. Say you see me tell kwate te baby no so mu twam no mu twam me say oh sir yes but we are separate and say akwa bia na menim no wa say t-shirt na say for that mahunu on 2 occasions fufuo sinanim wa share jacket na me say ebe obasa back to factory settings no the actual singlet na be say former Bank of Ghana governor President Mahama assanction say national security for enkoni fee in a Rambo style but any Rambo style a akronfo style obia akronfo aba ufie de bia police will betima catch we say 1,000 robbery na kondi pe fee a modus of branding no virtually the same omoba no modum light omoba CCTV ho no ma disable say crime ho no ma omutimi kuno watchma ho ni akekere no first na watchma ni efo ni akekere no eye modus operandi of armed robbers the national security for kwaye wo former governor ho a clear case of robbery sanctioned by the state. Quote me anywhere. A clear case of robbery sanctioned by the state because and name mo ye ni na mo satisfy all the first requirements of armed robbery. Mo satisfy ni na. You take all the boxes. Because muku tatuyo. Ma identify mo ho. Bench a quarter no ma fa bia nkyere. Mo ko ye CCTV. First one mo ye mo disable yi. Mo wie ye na ma sell tutu afri ho e de ko. Minority leader ebe kan say. Mo free hɔ mo na mo ko mu se sika yera. Ene Dr. Addison yere na mpempena de jewels. Gofo afako. Ye static kan ho se ma fa na national security for be kasa say omukọ na ko hwe vote. Sika daka kakraka. Ye bi no ko hwe bo ma hu, bo mu hu Fred saying sika boxes but empty. Then empty. Some biem. Mu biem na mu se sika gumu no say CCTV no mu ko tu fro no mo hu yan. Afe enura nwumrem esa ba ya almost all there be. Na adequate national security for call ho ne say Dr. Addison Tifie no CCTV ne ICT system na Bank of Ghana no say ono so create back end access. It was Tifie no and na wo hwe and no manipulating wo hwe the air cost of Bank of Ghana. Jimmy pure madness. Na Mr. Sante me dia de bi ma me de screenshot to be send on patcho hwehweba Mrs. Na lawyer new panimu and na wode sa de air call round e wo hefa. Nimpa po Samoa and wode ade ne air call round. Eti na nimu gu ase no munti ade a sa de ya afato so wo say ni papo Samoa ado lawyer panimu pa o lawyer ni panimu tie what say what is it with my dear NPP friends? The minority leader makes a wild allegation that national security operatives went to the residence of the former governor of the Bank of Ghana and stole 10K cedis and jewelry. That declaration is gospel truth. When a counter allegation is made, all hell has broken loose for them on this platform. Relax, chill pill. We are just starting. Each allegation will equally matched. Na say or confess say some mo kafa Dr. Addison ho no enya no kre because say minority leader be kan no kre nti no omo so twa ntro e de ato governor so say no waye so ho edam lawyer panimu and wa confirm it on social media platform say mo ka asem bia yeso be twa ntro e de ato mo so sani ebu man dia mo ya ne de anyway we dey say mama wakwa Peter
yes
na what to Accra na
o da bi eno a edumi light nti me ho akire but
no but yes we free fiache na we say bia we to Accra because we be shut time out da be do head ya this free beyond the service because suhumu ya ofra koso go crab be
na so wonso am so ye late kakra o
no man late
na meeting na
no
20 ya
me be do almost 7:30 but now radio ni off and I wasn't alerted say radio number and now me person feed TV for with debate in the course of parliament it ni e boy no and ye tell ye di nkomo ye cut lapia asem nyina ni na didn't know say ya baba so ho ye
nyakopa adom me chia o chia tifo ne ahwefo nyina
obi ajo so koka ma chen na e dey say utu anto so chia wo
Wontumi radio
me so ase de me de nyame ase off air obi enu ho wote ye Peter wo be start mamenko ebo ho no ebo UMPP ni abrantie minim so de MPP saa eyi na de aba se gag order na aba de se mo bi en MPP asem no ye na obeka it is a gag order ana oh okay Mati and you know what chim it's not e bedru so a ana de be start mami ko ebo ho no mo eti meba okay bra
o misraw
no we
meba no na o ka ensem bi na we starting na gagging order MPP
when you so this is the first time I use gagging order
no but
see am can
you can we are intro no say they should allow people to vent
but doesn't mean I said gagging order
yes but you see
Eku.
But did you hear me also saying, say, what person will vent and so on? Yet within the said be a new party in the matter. Did you hear me that?
Fantastic.
Yeah, the one.
There be Honda mean to me.
Mamma Gagano, this I want to make microphone frame.
Share.
Want to me radio.
Nyamimu no cray. No cray back up. Unim say,
no crumble say me and son. Oh, no cray. Meme no cray. And then no cray Lancasa.
And they said, no cray Lancasa.
Now, deputy, don't be kind, no cray. Me tell no cray.
MPP motto, almost say development in freedom.
Yeah.
And no na eda ekuo so. Nti MPP there, enye ku a obetima aka obi kasa ahye. That's one. Two, oman mu ni nyina no. Omumra pon kese the Constitution chapter 12. Echre freedom. What I say?
Freedom. You say you
freedom and independence of the media and the people. What I say? Nti obi bia person ka bia no. Obi anhye. But MPP freedom, development in freedom, any chapter 12 of the 1992 Constitution, there's limitation. What I say? Enti samiti met ma kan bia mpesa meka. But eno nkyere say or say meka ma ekotia sebio ebo niti say eboti ete say kokati. Abre yenim say eboti ente say kokati. That is the difference.
But the okay with the okay yes statement of fact because muti so say
no but kokati
w what's what can two different things what's a tree home but a tree the muni in a mold but a tree one apart difference wom so what there were you
the bottom line is MPP lose here no akasa including the general secretary himself.
Yes.
What I say? Obiya kasa eya waba bi mu diare obi mu pointing fingers echre ebi say Akufo-Addo ebi say Bawumia ebi say candidate na kra na ebi say party for nyuma bebre
ebi say Asare ebi say appointees
ebi say spiritual nyuma bebre eka ya bedu mpempenso bi na yenua ba adwan so etusim.
Yes.
Nobody has any problem with the issues we also raise it and also address it. In fact, a big near class or no cry no day or becanasem.
Yes.
But Oba Highway and the channel okay FM, Sanko Kasai.
Okay.
And a party issue statement that day na anopa after an interview.
Okay.
The key point our paragraph.
That we reading na
directive to all MPP members cease the discussions on matters that create disaffection within the party in the media.
Okay.
Cease discussions on matters that create disaffection within the party in the media. That doesn't mean that you cannot discuss.
But what is ebu say? Sa hono kwa na name be create disaffection.
Yes.
Eye nema benya. Because one you careful okay
paragraph 3
twaso let's say
Debbie yes
okay
as an officer of the party you are man and operations of the party please note that all party members are hereby directed to immediately cease discussion party issues that create unrest negativism and disaffection in the media and other related platforms and I will dwell on the unrest, negativism,
yes,
and then disaffection in some movie. Let us also be mindful of Article 3.5, our party's constitution, which inter alia enjoins us to promote and defend the good name of the party. Now, Article 3.5 in the Yenti Article 3.5, duties of a member. A member shall have the right and duty at all times to promote and defend the good name of the party. 2, protect the unity of the party. 3, be loyal and truthful to the party. 4, abide by and publicly uphold the decisions of the party. Unquote. Abide by and publicly uphold the decisions of the party. Unquote. Now, if you are a party member, a true party member, former minister,
former member of parliament. Now, the second highest decision-making body of the party, National Council, I form a committee to look into matters of the election in German. You may have problem with the chairman. You may have problem with somebody else. But you cannot indict members of the committee in totality and say it's a bogus committee. Peter, that is indiscipline.
Peter Tobwanza, me, I'm looking at the statement in its totality. Adwasafu per se is not the focus or the subject.
Oh, it's important in some kind.
But maybe
it's the subject.
But maybe person me drive I didn't discussing in such a manner say.
Yes.
The directive no Adwa is not the target. And the whole MPP members.
That's correct.
Because se curfew si a curfew si ya na ka se mo obi MP 5 pm a obetima be ka se Peter 11 pm na it doesn't work like that. It going forward as na make say omo makasa do makasa wi but going forward no how enforceability wo ho and na enforceability challenge wo ho and na how somebody also know say asem we America no we eye dan ya e de papa mu beba.
And I'm Bɛkyerɛ obi no.
Okay.
Me batobo. And I'm Bɛkyerɛ obi no. You cannot and you should not describe the second highest decision making body on decision. Say a bogus or publicly when you are bound to publicly defend and abide by the decision of the party.
You know one. But me several year we be ya.
Oh, tobo.
Should I look as a
budget in Bukuram can we inquire me pay.
Budget in Pamon Kebi.
There to be as a true and loyal member of the party. And now you're cabinet minister. Oko cabinet. Cabinet no be see the same freedom you have but once cabinets take a decision. Umpo. In fact, Damboche one time you see this in Bia almost take here. Not Damboche, I disagree. But on the information minister, he was tasked to go and defend the decision publicly. Group theory.
Yes, of course.
You cannot and you should not never say cabinet that take a decision. You may have your personal decision, your personal disagreement. Fine. Now, because you disagree with the decision, you decided say you will abstain from the passage of the e-levy publicly. And to me, send a question me ma there was so misane say. Oh no, so now I'm a member of parliament for Domi Kwabinya.
Yeah.
Now I'm a minister. Now only the decisions be constituency any parliament any ministry.
Yes.
And so the people call cabinet nipa nyina na ne agree na there be
any possible.
And he said this is not about parliament no party for support no. Na say obi decided say for whatever reasons, whether not story reasons, the papa reason, the teaching, or whatever reasons, decided say or disagree with address or as a minister on this teaching, and so will publicly criticize it and abstain from taking part of the decision. Will she be happy?
Okay, we'll be say good morning, Gordon. Me offer back, Mr. Boating.
Yes.
And then the offer for behet me kakrana, but I may have to restate my position. Maybe I'm also man tiasi. Was it I strongly disagree with you on your position on Adwasafo.
Yes.
I haven't taken a position on Adwasafo. Was it she's a member of a party, she has concerns, she has all the means to officially put her concerns on paper to the party. Adwa's action and inactions against the party in the past had been provocating, but she had been tolerated all this while. I hope you are not saying that if your wife is filled with unbearable anger against you, she can go to town to explain herself before bringing her concerns before you. Certainly not. The scenarios one a marriage, that's two persons. The part involving there was the principle of respect and confidentiality is paramount.
Yes.
Okay.
The dangerous aspect of what she did.
So that nobody will misconstrue the memeka.
Yes.
Me can't be in support to Adwasafo because me the body I'm on record say I did Adwasafo ye no. In fact, in terms of party and you component reason, it is like Adwasafo party in Pujinedi. Me that has always been my position. Me can't say they were no. Me defend me in fact issue by issue be defending. But what I'm saying is say party statement no mudi abano. Enya adwasa fo nko ene beche no. Eye MPP fo nyinam going for musa say how do you enforce this? How will somebody also know say ade wen ebe ko so yi. Ena masa ma advice say wo ye nipa na ye MPP ni the moment say opeso kasa wa bonten no it is that you have the capacity to determine say asem we die ebetimi di wantwi aba it also kasa ye measured. That is my position. It is not about MPP. Okay. But
after election, I could be able to akasa.
Yes.
Once a review committee ni start here, Jumano. Now then you have a channel to go and deliver your grievances.
Okay.
What you say? So say now all call radios no. And now man, I say no. As a ubu enitia. And two. The fact say only microphobia wo issue no. Nipa na as a wo fighting for no, you are rather destroying the person.
She's not fighting for anybody. Adwasafo is no. Or no, she's on a follow say. What you say? I go for kanasem. Etino person
issues. All kasa. But all kasa no. O make you emphatical statement say
obi yema obi call 3 times yema Dr. Bamiasin call second time.
Once you bring
happen you busa do ha
e na dwen
e you no dey na say na dwen
but e na dwen but even no cry no cry na o kan no there's a problem
but see what I want us to do today. Adwasafo is not one of my topics. The topic is MPP is taking decision say
me examples of 70 be uka
and you saw no examples. My general example because she's not the see message you buy let message na statement na general secretary the buy no why address it to Adwasafo but why address it to all MPP members so make general
because on make statement now that's after morning or year okay FM there party issue statement
yes
na nyumre mu 3 no start cutting joy.
Same no my friend no. Yes. It will be defending her. Let us not dwell on her statement.
And that is indiscipline. They cannot be organized party
because
like
joy there no. Let her bar into contention.
Oh,
say unko for
na say. You no to my friend no.
Debi you no talk say men kasa. What ma kan WhatsApp say o church ni mu.
Peter.
Yes.
Me say you no ti no my friend no.
Yes.
What call be church na sem.
Yes.
What I want us to discuss and say. Krata na your first MPP dia ba bonten. MPP members,
yes.
How are they going to abide by the way? Yeah, practicability, et say, any enforceability on the part of parties, what to say. Adwasafo is not the focus.
Gordon.
Any parliament see
are you saying, say, Article 164 of Chapter 12, no, limitations and responsibility to who as a media person? Are you saying, say, unim say, so kasem tia and the other party, na no cry, a create negativism.
It is we beka say. Obeka say anyema ma party no
yes
elusu here
yes
oh
yes
anyema ma party no elusu here
yes
ba ko ne say aban no efeli say free SHS obetro receipt e dey ama awofo ahu say sika aban e ka aban e bo ho ye no so ko kan te say ye dey ye
you can say that
obi na down for ne education minister ka say why ye no you see you don't know what you are saying.
There is a standard.
What who said the standard?
The fact say obia fee say who will right to say the ope. You say will right to say the memepe. Now the memepe can enya with them they also can no nya be me den no. But at least it must satisfy a lot of people.
Okay.
You must satisfy a lot of people.
Then I will can be satisfy a lot of people.
The constitution and MPP can repeal Article 3.
You see, Sadian one show I am telling you, say exercise that thing. Forgive me, but arbitrary. I quite said the no more say MPP for say be by say one nature party no. So kai Sadian.
Yes, we all had issues with the because but nature no there was a problem because I need to 30,000.
But still, they put in that in. Say one nature party, no, because the person has not nurtured the party so called in most want 30,000. Meanwhile, sitting MP don't want to abuse. It will no one 30,000. What you know, must have decided now want to say one nature party to disqualify.
That was wrong.
You see,
and but I'm saying
that was arbitrary.
Once there's a committee going into it, who issue be near there. Hold on, acha next month committee no maybe.
the report will be tabled. Who issues be a reporter, you can talk about.
But how would you talk about the issue about the committee report?
Committee report.
How would you know?
Now the Enco National Council.
The National Council will be Kobe. As on the National Council, no. What I want to win him the course. Report to the one where you be.
Okay, so because butchery. Report almost MPM, and so PA.
Keep to be the PA.
So I had the PA. We'll talk about it.
Come, you see, you see, that is where the danger is. That report, Miss, what the content may say, people should be allowed to vent and they say.
Not now when there's a committee.
Please, committee. The part doesn't be opportunity to appeal for the committee. Let people vent. Committee also tell them their show money man be. Share the can say the decision to even make the committee report public or otherwise. You require beside the controversy. That's why
you do what
and they said the drew near handle say let people vent.
If you allow that is indiscipline. Okay, look, I just have to ask now. Okay, because
this is what the subject.
Actually, on January 2023, or issue an official statement.
Sound.
Okasai, Tidokai. Let me quote her. Let me read kind just after saying bill. I would like to use this opportunity to apologize to my new patriotic party.
Okay.
The leadership. Firstly, to the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Our mother, the Chief of Staff, Akosua Freema Osei Opare. Majority Leader, Osei Che Mensa Bonsu at the time, no majority leader. And the entire leadership of Parliament, my colleague MPs, Majority Caucus. I would like to apologize to all of you for my behavior some time back. I would like to also say that it wasn't intended or planned to disrespect you all. This are just Afunanke, so I was faced with so many personal family issues.
Okay.
I would like to plead with you in the name of the Lord, my regional executives, Greater Accra, constituency executives, the headquarters of MPP, the general secretary and the national chairman, and all your workers. I beg of you, supporters and sympathizers who love the party and love me and have faith in my constituency, please forgive me for all that has happened.
Remorseful Adwoa.
What does it mean? It's an admission of wrong.
And she's remorseful.
Now we are now better allegations against the dead.
Oh, you're not my friend.
A lie.
You're not my friend.
No, wait. You see, negativism. You mean you can go and lie about a party member?
Peter.
She lied.
Peter, I don't have
an example of where she lied.
No.
If I don't clarify my final
there's no point to clarify because Adwoa is not the subject today.
She is because
she's not the subject.
One could grant those interviews could make allegations against people.
Media picture and no Adwoa for Ebo mo ayenko. Peter no ahwe won di ne.
No. It's no.
Messiah Mambo.
All right, go on. I think sir, when Peter, we didn't come on IFA.
Yeah, that's it.
About some of these discussions, and they be no agree.
Of course.
MPP in same, I think you can be what happened before. Party biano, a co-positioner. Some of this when train ba. The other man I issue this particular time, and in this week, you know, the rater, Madam Adwoa for all your interviews near there. Peter Kaye, last one, so make I say 2009, MPP lose to 2008 elections. No? There was a committee. So be a finance and the common copy trade fair near day.
Yes. Recapture, rebuild, and BBB.
This time around, the same thing has happened. In fact, 2020 election, or last can I say, Osafo committee. The reason why young Dwelly or Osafo committee so much is that now victory, but no matter how small and answer we need 2020.
Yeah.
To Obia Drian Koso, Yanko Bisa reports, no Yanko say.
So victory the bad yeah.
It's I said to committee so be an finance general secretaries any party into the statement about say they are all be no I'll make be out to yes I agree as a party person I Peter read the constitution but sometimes you bet me control the old TV Sony radio so but they all in WhatsApp platform Sony Sanyo man how do you able to control it because like you all said General Secretary akasa da we akasa da eno de emfa say twem. Madam Adwosa fun interview no. Ebi wo ho a na kamene ne ya adwen. But ebi won so a me feel say oko too far. Nti at the end of the day so ko share this na obejes because in Sandbo him say oko cabinet kura mpo decisions are aya ekos cabinet no matter how long it has taken any say eba abontin ana meboa
yeah
but to the extent say some of the cabinet issues secrecy cabinet issues ne sa enyoma ni bi eba no hu
but you see, let me play the devil's advocate. Dr. Baumia was part of cabinet. Abraham would take a decision on e-levy. Dr. Baumia you want us to become.
Yes,
okay. That's what I said. Does it mean that he's kicking against cabinet decision?
The details,
the details.
But I thought why I got discussing the integrity.
Yes. Already. Still on man no.
Okay. Maybe them obi in your opportunities as the person or mon kana
instruction
mon kana
president demand some call your audit will school feeding to the extent say
me sremo me facha me that day Sunday na me we catch and say you say that it was needless but I don't want us to go into and then
I'm just mentioning some one or two pages.
Okay.
And then mami kwashiga
yes
I thought it was a bit unfair because you na amamrem kwa no so nipa ukra
yen kane
only also be defending no me hu sa we no but MPP as a party Golden, some of these things we are not justified but we have been there before.
Okay.
The reason why I say no na by I mistrust because say your elections na party you lose Obo say be nkofobia among supporting candidates and the and some key players they tend to blame each other say na we sumpo na we enti ma sa anyoma hina no
eba
ekwesi okay kama President Akufo-Addo olusu 2008 election between 2009 and 2016 never be say koso my party no Dr. Roku Bebemu na edomoko disciplinary committee because of all transits be
yes
to the extent say be more na who say we mo your party man na said but when you try also to contain this thing baby I'm just
now time any problem it's because of the criticism against the Akufo-Addo at that time
if it has happened you take action session for you from also can justify why certain action shouldn't be taken
me that's easy you no tin ya friend no me just want to cause one go
last one because okay the same period and so Madam Hilda Domo
hey kwada so
so now they were going after certain people.
So but address
and Kofi 1 2 3 money so these things have happened before.
Okay.
In the MPP there is a history.
Okay.
But as to how you can contain all I am measured because I am measured.
Me that's
I am measured na say insane ko we pay.
Me that's
and I will try so be control of I'm training no na obi be kwa control book say chasing the elephant into the bush and so many say ba bontina no be brebe me aba. It's let us all abide by the committee. Who asem can say constructive, measurable, ade a ultimately and regrettably say one day we soon opportunity as to maybe a party no be the beko and I say nimpo by candidate or be say ni sa nyoma. I think say we haven't gotten there. Okay. But WhatsApp platforms, platforms be so they boy ho ne ade but careful with the individuals attacking and criticizing for being criticizing because at the end of the day we need all these people to come back together to make the party and prepare the party for 2028 until party baby for now no matter the anger in you know share the general secretary we may have issues with the party structures and people but whatever concerns you have so won't mean committee there were some channels of communication and now we have WhatsApp voice note kwa nipa ne betie wo send WhatsApp though you ntimi for BR views and bad anymore but let us go by the party rules na yen prepare because there's an election to be won in 2028 and if care is not taken you be can send be na chia say wasan no
you see I say kasa yin you've been very measured okay. Unlike Ebo has been very measured. Unlike that hawkish attitude that will be a taking that hawkish. And if you come with hawkish attitude, don't expect me to meet you with the attitude of a dove. You see, don't expect me to meet with the attitude of a dove. When I am the matador, Tiano dear. You see, Madame Barcon, lawyer Augustine, was say, well, lawyer Penmupa. Was say ask him just Peter was say ask him her about critiquing the decision.
You can
criticize the decision
constructively without creating negativity around the decision.
Party way. The gentleman Peter the gentleman is biased against Adwasa. What he has been saying is what others did to her. Have they also apologized to her following her apology? They will read it, Peter and Casabium may Mama Mo me pacho
obi raise the issue against me. Mama responded.
That's unfair. Just and that year oh and me pay to know. Mama me
my final point on you are making one say.
Okay, me to become a mambo. Who I was saying.
Okay, then I'm offering to me.
Some minimum. Minimum. Mama Mompacho, let us say.
Yes, I don't know.
Yeah, Aquaba. Memenda said the Otaba had the Nibajipa. Yata Bramamenda. Weekdays no Musia Brano. Saturdays, I remember that you know, Tanma. Now I might have a brighten, you know. Then to say,
yes, what do?
Okay, it's yeah, member saying, I teach what if she names it here. To say, a giant cry was one year pee. Your fool, I what's it then? I'm way.
I made us a pee. Oh, dear. Say a member washroom, I won't pee. A young word, especially. Say, yeah, over washroom, you know. I mean, poor best Rama, Honama Tosso. Say, body scrub, I best scrub about Honama Tosso. I've been infusion, I'll be a man, Honam, as in a whole year come at the amount. Then I a young word, and that's it true, the person may come. Ma sebi ye won na so obey e wo ye chi ni ye kokoso ni ye nimu no eno na nne me pese ye ka ho asempa because e ya de a e ha nkofo nya asem keto a me be no obi afre me se mama mo e se me na so obey kra me ne dey e no kre mama mo ha sei so won na so obey na say e how obo won na so obey na nhase just as a go na bia be ha se na a hase wo kokoso na wanim e de abada bi e be hase no se bo some reddish bi wo ni ase was a no na ya na a 10 na ye green e wo nes me ho say afi aye black e wo honum na dia maw enti so hu se wani ho ha say e soja e ye red entempa na ohwe mamofo akira kwan na 10 minutes from there say be ya enye obi won redness no ese onya pie wiem pe na ye say gown e wo nanim eno ba mama mo aye be boa on ya official treatment e wo wanim na ya temi redness ni nyina e ma ne ndru say be kwakwo ye tum obi de krat mi ye tum na ye west wo ye na hwia enye yie na e na e ha adwu mebre enya sem ketwa enti no so wo na enso oben e wo wanim obo na enso oben na kwa akọ na chi ne kukusu nyina ahase eba entempa na no do na chema mo skin care cosmetics first na no mo ka say na enso oben wo ma menye premaya unya na enso obe ba na de premaya no nsiso aso ene na enso obe nti na ho e ma na enso obe toto wachi no ukom na ense wo honam basa amfa ma abram mamofo ya ba e de magana manyina ye ho de am ka say ye free consultation wo de fa ho Bɛkyerɛ yen na ye show body ni ma na be bia problem ni wo bia no ye ntu ase emfa ma na wo so wo honam no emfa ne ntomapa enfra enu echi ne ye ka na ejade ma mo nya no kwa na ye o say bia stretch marks if you have stretch marks no ya na ye two ways and ma stretch marks never especially bia na ye bi ho na ye as a result of expansion of the body bia body no aye kese na bia I expand na bia wo so tint no ma stretch marks ho no obi on so na mo behwem kra na ye 90% no ye nku ayesra ma stretch marks ba ye nipadua no mama mo yaba e de ama mo nyina and this na so stretch marks no ye the open type ni bia na obi on the stretch marks be he no na emu abiebie say hu obi he say otumi kra don sakra shem e ma ne ye yie ya na ha adwen pa so all stretch marks no say emu abiebie sa ene se kwa akoma to yem ni nyina ne so be mama mo skin care cosmetics na ye boa
ya na ye surgery na
debi na nye surgery
sa
no surgical ye ho no no surgical especially stretch marks no obo wa say emu bie kese ne sa
ebo hono ma ese fe ne regis
ya emu bie
kwame e na nse fe be
oh da bi sesi de sitie no oh regis da bi wo won se da nte brofo kese wo ti brofo kese ka bo ka se regis ho I say control lines
bie na asa emu asa ye mre
okay
that be sa no ye ntimi nkan bom na ye mpam but the injection or those areas no. Now the essence of the injection is building up tissues. This
okay.
No. Now hona emu bie na timi afedi na akava kama e dia mam. Obo ane dia no so emu mie bie na mama ye ntiantia no dia afi na ahya ase a eba. Nti se wani anko ho a oni pa ho safe na
ebia bie
e dia mam. Ntiantia no ntempa na do na che mam skin na afi ya boa na ne nyina timi asisi ba bi kama e dia mam. Abra stretch marks na enkofa problem kese bia emfa.
Yadafo back was say stop talking about stretch marks. Was say no dey ekunu kro hu about stretch marks won ho a.
No okay.
Eh ampa ho.
Oh yeah, Miss Madam for me sir.
Hey.
Oh Amsterdam. I say ohun. Na say bia ohun ya ne fe. Na o ba de ho na say if I say o be o ha kakra.
Na stretch marks ni ho a.
Stretch marks. E was say aha say o ho a. Odua ne kwanya na kono.
Hey.
Oh yes.
Sir?
No. Especially now or say onya hwe o ha no imagine wa hem.
Na horobu via bana ni so.
Tell you what.
Wonka ho. Wunya ka me se wo se mo. We exclusive nkomo. Mama mo to wonka ho.
Yes, what you and crying na kono because onya hwe o ha na say ho na papa it definitely
obi nso no so de oba obenya na say wunni stretch marks a wonpew.
Na ne de na super.
What's wunni stretch marks bad ya wonpew.
Na stretch marks na akasa no. Ya de na say emu abie bo ha ne de ntimi emu bie na afi asam no a. It's very bad.
Na say huhuru bi sa no.
Sir, those ones no in fact me akwa me oba akwa no.
Uhu na 10 of mount.
Yes. Ona mbo henso na bia na wo kunu. Now I mean when you nani wo ho no manya sa. O so oba na nti say before na say na de biaba. Nti bibia e wo solution. Nti ma stretch marks no emma wade pa bi enhwere. No. Ni nyina ye o mo skin care.
Skin care.
No na fe efro no de.
Efro de. Efro de capture me ne ebuamu anim. We mu mi no de. Efro mu ye ne den. Ye no so mo se na surgery. Okay.
Ye mfa se kan kan. Ye mfa paso en.
Babo de mpane be wo.
Yes.
Hey.
Purely injection.
What about Wolf Room?
Yes.
Any side effects?
No.
Wontumi Radio 95.9.
Any side effects?
Most more here.
Yeah, well, Accra East Legon, number 3 Boundary Road.
Oh, send it here.
Yeah, number 3 Boundary Road, East Legon. And you will wager SCC Junction. SCC Junction, how we say Accra, I won't know. Top of my muskin care, Ubia Bedareto.
Within the Matida, my dear, and the Papa. Okay. It's your bed when Yabba, number 3 Boundary Road, East Legon. What do you mean?
Oh, some diminu abema biba.
Abema
hamiwa.
And the phone problem beer ni ho. And I am man so asabi. Ebia nyame echecheche to ebia wa nya
Radio 95.9.
ebia won so nya bi so ebia wa deda ne fa ma ne to na ba amena ni nyina ye o ma muskin ke bia pese o heb dem no fele e ma ni nyina ye kama ni nyina ma mu fo e ye ho adwuma enya asem keto akra enti na de oba won pese obo ho be ye fe na se wa na wa ye waje se da bi ho nye fe na emom sa pese o ho ye fe pa de a na wo ye o ba si ma de a ene e fo ni nche bia se ma muskin ke ye ho no e ye free consultation and non surgical so
okay.
SG free so
Mama Mo Skincare Cosmetics 020-522-5355 0244-855-094 we are measuring me who can me per discount in town it is me what dem be call me okay mate
super so hwe mo for the train come abesi afrem me ankasa e was 0558-660307 0558-660307 and me my personal line I will frame me I no better train come and I will come sense na frɛ and no so kuma se lines no e wo ho and abesi afrɛ 020 no also abesi WhatsApp me no o dey just WhatsApp me on the 020-522-5355 020-522-5355 na my personal line ni bio and also 0558-660307 0558-660307 ɛno deɛ wofra bia wo bia yɛbɛtwetwe nkɔmmɔ
nyame adoma nche bia I was a be English version of Untumi and the Movement TV now obeka brofo wano ne brofo na de papa wano ne oba be your first news editor wano ne brofo na de alright musa for 80 mama mo skin care cosmetics and now we buy na we Bediako ono ane da no it bibie na we de na ono aka telephone number ato no mo hwe
TV mo hwe TV no
mama okay mati eye mo pacho ti nyame adoma ene na wotwe ya no abantem Saturday bia de no betina ha oba ha se mu nyina efefefe alright busafo aha Untumi radio 95.9 movement television so na wutie no na wo hweye no na bra yanko diwihini diwihini me ko
onia
aha
MPP says that
yes me pacho over there to so yanko meet you oh please go mufa
me be mama hwe
mufa koka bisremo
MPP as well okay adwasa for me I feel so alright so bekasa but kasa bia no limitations were bebia but so who send ya ukasa ubetumi akire wadwene ubetumi aka bibia me ka de wi as MPP wo ye denkra ye party ne mfa bone nche sa o what you say wo tumi so obekasa o be dru mra wo ka say me ka wahala last no Ghana muntie time say ase ade bi pie say omom ye kumase report ne is likely say e be more sanctions you better punish you because nobody mentioned it. Ka Ajwa Kasa early days.
It's a region, okay, region is
yes. Ajwa Kasa early days.
No, early days no be patch. It's nanka issue ended. Apart from allegations, be nanka etiano. No, yes, say Obekasa etia. I know there will be any problem.
Maybe problem only rant no. But
no, so Obe campaign. No Obe campaign. Oba no. Obekasa issue statement epa obia acho agem from so to what I say asana chire okoye the campaign na ankoye obi ekura o san start say ye di Dr. Baomiachi for some time and then so hu sem bebre okobi
no me na me kan me di Baomia campaign
yes
or one of the few people omu do ground so they engage they prepare no nye follow back keke
wow
no nye follow back. There were a lot of people no me follow back. Omuko jina phone calls. Oba ye ko no makotena bas no. But she was actively working.
Yeah.
Or engaging for sometimes cry on be ready so work on. E bia no nkrofo odi nkomo. Intini ye se ye twen no. Ana so obe see every bas ma ba early aba engage. So yes, ye no maybe. But na ebufu bi wo ho. I feel say the timing was wrong. Ye pieces ex-MPs, PR, a key power. They don't engage in PR. They don't have managers or more manage what they are doing. Inti enne si ebusa adwasa say interview no. What was the main purpose or what was the objective? It will not be there. It will be more of a bufu. So be ashem bufu and I'm just churning out.
Come inside.
What you say? A drew order a different conversation that so other party no because Usha interview no back one at a point you busan so obesa a contest no sa interview no
also undecided yet
no because reality they hate no the reality of MPP hate no idea we are me can't say me what will be the response how will it happen
no but you see Kuka me ntwa no oni me ubisamia I think say Ajwa ekobi ukura mpa me also undecided yet it is any papa but me ubisame na me say Ajwa kwa ebebo party no Ajwa contested on the ticket of MPP ebebo party no so yes I have no issue I have no problem say
but you see My problem bi wo ho a ye no yeso ye nkan say nipa ni decide say asade no e done deal.
Oh no
no so no ye can't do no
adwoa na ankese no
yes
so okobio a me fi say ono e wo a better chance chen obi bia obeko.
And she did well with the interview explaining dynamics bia the new person also didn't take
kokamebo enti ono say obey call on a ticket for MPP there ubisa me as a person I'm all for it. What I disagree with her ne say obey try say obey prejudice the outcome of the committee, you know, and to also everybody also say certain things against the sitting or former President Akufo-Addo, because when him MPP was here, umpo, you will have all day
any
legacy.
No,
who cast it out now can insinuation can sembia about indict the persona or the legacy of President Akufo-Addo. Na Akufo-Addo na wo no on wedding day we okọ
na mo say
wo ha nipa na wo kire say wo support no, but why in any case truth be told Dr. Bawumia can he take himself out from the Akufo-Addo adwuma oye ni nwanoma na no matisi ya na okay at that time na okọ cabinet
obe decide say at that time party anybody obe decide say o can party no ho a unfortunate for us we are going to start afresh. Currency be na adeko the currency of Nanado.
Yes.
Any adeko.
Yes.
So enunti na make say edru baby na oto yambia na ye no bi wo ho a obi ti say deputy chief of staff your friend is saying
Carlo from Brazil
do suhum say no.
Oh, photos on your deputy chief of staff, no or chief of staff office.
Yes. Onu say ade odi ayemi. Ye ka se ye kan, ye be ko achi. Ade odi ayemi.
One we are party no e be sanction.
Oh,
ya ko baby a.
Oh no, say me so make achi, say me nka bodu, me ka say no ade odi ayemi.
Da bi tie on fe.
What you
see?
Me kan sam say.
Me to buansa. On say we kan we keke krempo no. Peter caution will say.
Yes.
One shit to boss and one year part in bit my sanction. That is the absurdity. And how impractical and then it is yeah, and you're careful la. One should I said you be gagged. Obibeka say
we will be gagged.
That be not we will be gagged.
Obibeka say I'm okay say eboka say one guy say ebo aya de pa. One can MPP sem.
Na sana na ope no enti the to obi to enti enfa kwa no chest higher na how say
over increase VPM ne kakra
please say some no the mamunya and let me be emphatic and reiterate the point to say Professor Michael Quay committee no it is extremely important say ombe it is extremely important wow because say ehun hia no na won te politics ase yeti ye for ye gidi se politics na ye kakra ye gidi se ye nim nema bebre kutia MPP ema party lusu homongously like that na mom no ye ma krata de paper a pen say ye ntro ne ma ema party di nkugu se a Peter obeta atwo ne ma 20 mesbeti ye beta atwo ne ma 2020 na ye 80 ye be hwemu no out of 80 e bia emu 60 be ye intersection just ebe 60 be common 5 koka betro 5 bi uni minim ebo so nim ebo betro ade be nyina adwen ma so da ba behwe ne no so that's why it is important to say committee we beba. However, committee no is not the panacea per se. Ya na mpesa me kire ema wo bia enkasa asib say Messiah bi eba and the Messiah will be found in the committee ebesre ma obi ngas oh and a committee ni bando se benya kwan e sha committee no mesre medie baby adru no me pese me direct conversation once again adwa safo me ba adwa safo is not the subject and then no even though do no koye no and a trigger sad but me pese ye be go into the nitty-gritty of the onona I can of course ye nyina ni ya adwe say ese wo kan e broso yes
process.
Yes.
So committee ni wie report na. Be ko National Council.
Yes.
national council be debate. Unim so mu here there will be something on friend is it national conference or national conference me wa. Party for nyina be kwa share. And omu ko share committee be make some recommendations. E ho no wo ye party ni a wo betima kan wasem bia wo pe. E conference na se. Unim so omko conference apart from the media ne capture no. Omo we bia media ne capture. Ompamu sem twofo nyina.
O said you
are pa mekai yakwa edu be omo
Cape Coast
so mu ye bia
UCC
yes omo wi omo sem twofo nyina fi ho na party na nkese amekai panyin bia no we le meka minister no ho also we us opi Peter party pa de so utie omo committee no mu hia woni be gio am say ade also papa bi no ahye ne political suit up and down uhwe am so teacher ni papa na sema waka no am so onya kwa konsa be wo president kufu ani
okay but then so dem go for take me to the clinics kakra and me position that say me so me call to call me the matado and the bia dey can be there obi say God good morning this morning you are behaving as if Adjusafo is your personal project to protect to the extent you are trying to gag your paddlers. Me patcho many Peter asem the man mem be bia be third person El Haj Ibrahim Bosman enya sotum and now nkofo de match ayampa o say
wa uni papa ko akwe so kai no
papa
se munu ya waka no men kan chiro
sa
mi am de a chiro
ma nipa heaven why not just won ko bi die
papa ko akwe heaven
me cast one why not just won ko heaven etinya de se me de na sem ye asesa papa akwe ebe wo bia me cha no pay wa ben mama papa
also o he
oh papa akwe
last tia no register wa che base oto wa che mame so wie no
adapetwa na what no so je wa che no wa che but we share them book cast your mind back 10 years ago any part now more radio so any part more radio so na ye tie wo mo na wo fa dream free mo wo to mo cap se brofo wo kan peckable just say kama and they do
media no the humor part no bodies in me papa o uncle bo white
shasha will be say okay manya support aka was say God remind the gentleman that Kedianfua came on air to talk about the E-levy earlier on. What happened to her? What let me say at the time that time no dear now that time na curfew my it is
that ufi curfew ni mo anu asa ko ginem
at the end the best. All right, yeah, me say enough of sir and my say no.
Nanka me ka me say bottom line. We have to protect the legacy of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
No, but you look there. It is not matter. It is not in question.
It will be said to President Akufo-Addo. We may be very careful.
But enko so tie che mame ba tie
oh now we na wama
say maka say me active participant as a host che me ne pedi mu bi di nkomo Peter me nkora brim enipo ma me ni J politics ho era na Akufo-Addo
oh ena oni awudu nyina yepe
I have always been an advocate of Nana Akufo-Addo me peda se mama okay ba wo kai say election 2008 MPP lose election.
Yes.
Say a day blame game graph of Bɛkyerɛ wa na President Kufuor a bigger chunk.
Yes.
Me patcho nya sanity. Me patcho one more no more support to the Akufo at that time. Be brank as President Kufuor na MPP lose ye. Me ba open statement to Honomo. Now I am telling people within Nana Akufo call for say they should be tolerant kakra. Tie asa maker. Let us say some of these things. Make a chill back say, this one the first time a party na lose. Na party na lose be da. I'm a President Kufuor. One more no support the Akufo-Addo. But President Kufuor chisa. What happened? And then he said na Akufo-Addo so party na lose. Na Kufuor bole chikakra. Montomo be tolerant and accept all those criticisms. Nobody can say for Nana Akufo-Addo me ba Nana Akufo-Addo me kakra mendi free no president and na ubeti na compare Nana Akufo-Addo toe to toe boot for boot all spheres of life say sector bien hon mo beti me ato Nana Akufo-Addo. However our political decisions be on man he got it wrong as a human being doesn't mean say ntimi Ghana ukwa cancel be say any sadia we say we will continue to defend the legacy of Nana Akufo-Addo, and at the same time continue to criticize some of his political decisions constructively. That's why you can't take it away from anybody. Yes.
It's what I say. Sadanukra ye chair percentages no. Emma after ye exercise be ote so ba kakra. President Nana Akufo-Addo can never take himself out.
What to me? In fact, Dr. Baumia to me as flag bearer.
Dr. Baumia.
What to me as flag bearer.
Who only the party ni call slaughterhouse. Chairman. To the extent say wo kra Dr. Baumia wo campaign team net saying. I can bet to call what did you do about it? That people will ask. There were problems. And that is not why even no formation of the campaign team. No campaign chairman from Eastern Region. Yes, I campaign manager from Eastern Region. Even control and command, there was a problem. Apart from no deputy campaign managers and one in charge of parliamentary Eastern Region. And one also wants some cramp in your mind.
Party.
Oh, rather than some. Oh,
Mrs. Shea, no, I Wood or Becca?
Made a meat marker. Send me some training. A bonnet, cook and intimate. So, Dr. Baumia also had issues. Why? For the first time, MPP call elections are. Even the MPP media, or not even one advert. Now, oh God, now what's okay? You call committee in any. One look back. Started kasa.
Of course.
I Okano was okay come say what about na beka.
Me permit me aka.
Untimi nka.
You see? Because more conscious indeed. You see? You see?
No.
No.
Question ti nyani nyina na. Ada o meta meka ni nyina.
Tie ya no trama.
Ba ku bia o kan ye. Wo di tu dwa ti see ya. Ba ku kan committee.
Oh, me away. Me ya no trama me appeal to.
Ada nti na ne de o meka.
Oh, that be tie. Come na beje no. Me there. You see? What's na back catch say? Obi a wo ye MPP ni bia. Asabe maka not less than 5 times say. Obi a wo ye MPP ni bia o pe party ni enkan ko no.
Yes.
So ka party no ho asema abusa wo ho say.
Yes.
Asema be wie no. E de papa mu be anase e di. Me put as a question.
That's the basic. So why then do they say there's no gauge what they say?
That be but you see still crowd.
There's a measure.
Still crowd. I say
for I can last one you crack say who admit say there's a measure. But there's a measure.
It's still arbitrary.
But there's a measure.
Okay, hey, do you want to challenge my authority here?
No, we are class prefect.
I was for Mami ko Igbo budget no ya ka ye kwa homa no so na me
okay.
Na me friends you know Dr. Julius Jima Eddie and what economist
time needs na me person me security issues ni kakra.
Okay, sure betima ko. Obetima. Yes, be near.
And no me will say what share dey be o Facebook.
Yo.
Ni amate few statement.
Aye. Mama.
Na anemre eye me wan wan.
Wo back was lawyer or
no, eye me wan wan say Peter, yet Ghana he. Obi a your lawyer ni pen you akọ law school why we e be di say outgone governor na okono. Was setting up system on ifie currently meetings across the Bank of Ghana for movements for no more ye no. Papa no etime even when a new governor take you over with the whole setup. Ebe mwa yan ka say obi a oye appointee or former appointee of President Akufo-Addo no waye bone a mema yembisa no and I am friend say we. But you see politicians no sometimes principle be issue kakra because ye kai ekwan a ye fa so efre Ura Stephen Asamoah Boateng Peter Sobeka Tama MPP lose election 2000 on the year. Nkofo fi say this is the first time he actually been in the year. And almost so much former Director General for National Signals Bureau. On the wife.
Ebo we de mesro mame nkwa homa no so na me ne Dr. Julius Jima eni nkomo kakra bi e wo budget statement na NDC for edit to abonte the debate na conversation na ekoso e wo parliament. Julius, good morning doc.
Good morning brother.
I wanted to say
ye
de nyame ase baby abutu bi ase bi aboko na Julius we de fache mi o wa body say ya na ewo yi no so no flyer no so no me ma me ba ko se me osre me amenka sia ma ne mra fom kakra why o se ama wo be nde wo be gilo so say
party you guys ba ka se mo mi sama
Wontumi radio
sa wo be twem kakra ho all right
and a weekend here we come baba
All right, Abuja for it. Dr. Julius Jima, why economist, a brantie, kama, and you need bidding kumofa, budget statement na bayano. Julius, almost a time when you know, yampe budget no, never be nubi, ya, would you say, as an economist, who are, we almost so kakra, who are, who share gun and count kona, ebia intimate moye, and I say bia. Say the musi data require budget statement no inaccurate a wrong impression. It is saying
You got the radio, my mendas na minchia, okay, for na minchia or panelists from most studios. Let me say one of the areas because of time now, sending now or basically a try near for sure will be the economic policy and the 24-hour economy. Mr. Minister to me allocation to share budget now for now and the resource allocations are minister here, you know. Now you know you change the 24-hour economic policy, you know, and it will really up right away. Now again, and so no, it's mean your allocation at the 24-hour economic policy because the one in we share the budget statement now and the 24-hour economy. Or say aim at stimulating economic growth by creating an enabling environment for businesses and institutions to operate 24/7 in 3 shifts of 8 hours to boost production, promote productivity, generate well-paying jobs. We will be presenting the policy to Parliament in due course for consideration. And see, the first one will be on 24-hour economic policy, just as I said. Now, it was one of the key thematic area under the NDC manifesto. In fact, we share the chapter 2 of the NDC manifesto, which is talking about jobs for all. One in a 24-hour economic policy, no, and again, support for businesses and so, especially the small medium enterprises. And our foreign minister for Parliament, you know. Now indicate that Tanzania they home system policy implementation ebeba into ebanisa na unse budget, you know, we can always talk about the budget without linking to the manifesto. So 2 documents
Radio 95.
building upon it near from the manifesto to the budget and then the budget implementation. And the senior na make us in the manifesto, no, the key we are a champion here, and it's a champion here, 24-hour economic policy. It's no be a research, oh, a better saying, I better so 3 shift system, no, a bit then I see in Juma, Ama, in Babuno. Then again, it can be answered that in ya with the budget allocation for the policy. And clearly, no, and some media committee, a you know. It will be in the half year or probably in this first year, and to me, the 24-hour economic policy, a life. The year debate, I have argument over and over again, say, a 24-hour economic policy, you know, will be dependent on demand and supply. And in our say, about to stimulate the demand in the system, you cause the demand to happen. Then you can get people to work around the clock. In Kisena, Ebia Ambano in this first term, at the book at Sabeba, especially the youth bar, Omojo share campaign, you will make sure say, or make me in your Ejumai. It's clearly and it's happening. Won't say there are some protests, and I say you can need your honor, Mamata say, allegations talking to the media, say they've been neglected and all that. And I think that policy, you know, is a idea, a watch for a year, again, the 24-hour economic policy, you know, will also be dependent on the infrastructure development. Just as I said earlier, so you have to stimulate the demand or create the demand. Now, let me say, I'm to air announce a $10 billion infrastructure development. Budget allocation is so a buy, you know. Let me say, it's a crack from 13 billion. First year, budget allocation for infrastructure development, 13.5 billion Ghana cedis. And now debate is back for so of Parliament over and over. Even for the medium term in France, you divide it 10 by 4, and I say each year you have to allocate about.
Doc, but your factor me, my main found come back to 24-hour economy no. Omo a year or more manifesto. first communication during campaign time no omo magana 40 say 24-hour economy ni die even in public service civil service nyina ebebem enti baabi a South Ministry of Works and Housing na edipa 200 no hono ma is here ba be edipa 600 because ba almost in adwuma ba ko edipa miensa na be 3 shifts ya no say wo say ba ana say o ma fa nchechebu na amaye di na go first go front ase no
and me say a honor minister aka say on dance subia na emu no committee a present apa on so on be 24-hour economy no ho dwuma ni na no mu gusu a omo di hu dwuma e tell me say o question abusi no e by na no slant ni focus e hwe kwan a on be so ministries agencies no on be start rolling up the 24-hour economy no the most important thing in economic management and I say in economic growth no, is to focus on the private sector. Then again, also Ejuma ministries maybe or mining more. More of a service rendering organization and it is time bound. And so looking at those areas, know that the promise for jobs and then we had the any shares any so affiliate at the various sectors, especially with government. Also, the focus is on government. I mean, as we speak, fast forward to now, no, there are clear cases that Bimokram for your mom appointment letter for company for you, you reject your appointment and people are saying that there's no space or honor. So clearly, you know, when it comes to the ministries and department agencies now, difficult to say you need to implement 24-hour economy or honor because service no will provide, I will be able to sustain and say service at demand work on almost 24/7. Then you have to let people to work almost all the time. And that is the nature of our public institutions and the ministries. If you want to know economy, you have a 24-hour demand in you can talk about some of the state-owned enterprises. I offer a big Juma Kakra to say the Ghana ports and harbor state. Hono to me implementing. And also will come down to the demand because they say the demand is also driven by the private sector. What can your media on my analysis of the private importers and then government importers. If you see a private importers and then a draw some more. The focus should be on the private sector. Now, it me stimulated demand. Now, Bema Abani bit me implemented 24 hours. It's linking the policies up there. No, I bit me creating in Juma, Etiama, in Bebunu, the Jobs for All policy and chapter 2 of the NDC manifesto. That's a final pay attention to the demand, and the demand has to go to the private sector. How now bit me creating demand, but the emphasis on government is yeah. And you're there in Accra with the 24-hour economy. No.
1-9.
Linking it up. No. Every economy, yeah, new infrastructure now they develop the economy. No. And after whatever economic model I or running. Now, infrastructure is the schools are hospitals are the poor before. And that comes about the key sector, the real sector, infrastructure, accommodation, housing system, all these things within an capital intensive. Into the announcement of the $10 billion infrastructure, no, clearly, we will be asked what to be the source of funding, another funding source. An allocation come for Minister AMA, the 10 billion infrastructure under the 24-hour economic policy. No, is it enough? And that also will be the analysis and the discussions that is going on. And then I make a social debate on parliament. You could see the minority and the majority. The minority are clearly emphasizing with the medium term, we divide it by 4. And I say each year and it's all year allocating by $2.5 billion. $2.5 billion multiplied by an exchange rate of 16 cedis, that is a dollar. Currently in every month somewhere around 14 to 15 billion Ghana cedis, and that is not enough to be able to even each year we allocation. But I also had the deputy finance minister say, and yes, I understand, but in the medium term, each year we always vary the money, and as a allocation say for no more. They're all just trying to link up with that. I was say source of funding and funding source of the infrastructure project in here because they say, also can each now so 24-hour protection and Sabaya now so say companies need to be upstream near more 24-hour protection, that is police, a bit protection, even can be here fire service on the run. It's me protection more. Production, no bit access to some of these utilities and not even access, but if you are a reduction in tariffs, that the amount. Our budget in Muswa, there has been PUs here, a tariff adjustment near CB2, and every quarter the year, so no matter to take it to move. And how will that also be able to support this 10 billion infrastructure project, which is linked to the 24-hour economy? Because when there's an announcement said there will be tariff adjustment, an adjustment could mean either upward or downward. Ghana can say first one year to by for my eye, it has happened with almost our transport sector and then our utilities. I believe the so is one of the key areas MSM Minister will have to come again. Lastly will be on the gold board policy and only the allocation about $279 million dollars for the better good, no matter good export. But I'm still thinking through and looking at this particular economic model. Previous NPP government had a good for oil policy at the buyer. You have criticism, you have implementation. Good for oil policy, no, it's me boya na. Yes, a boama foreign reserve, city depreciation, so estimate from in fact. For the notion 2023, you Sri Lanka for now. Your currency, it depreciates about 56%, almost across the world, Ghana and Sri Lanka. But with the intervention of some of these G4O, which is a good for oil policy, and Ushemwa about good for the instance, that clearly tell us we have to back our currency with a certain commodity. And the commodity, as you see, a foreign cash, and I said the foreign exchange at the brain, cocoa, gold, and then oil. With oil, next because we share the international trade that imports versus exports now. Our imports, change exports into oil here. And whole seminar is your normal. Actually, gold, any cocoa. Na, I na debate in our seminar.
Doc, Yami Adumaho, Tuesday, Yesia, Ghana and Tianumre. Na enya me say that be na wa Accra either Tuesday or Wednesday ye shall Ghana ntia nwumre no na ka yenya time to discuss gold board extensively. I did almost $3 million and I must admit if you say offer come to gold when them crash no to gold by my bonus of October me ba cho ye academic yi wo ho na onyame either Tuesday or Wednesday ye discuss na nwumre why
me that
right all right I was up for Dr. Julius Jima was an economist and in a dinko. Nyamba next week, no, you better trust in your shame. Gold for oil, gold board. I make one ye make a crash say SMP before I check a crash was our gold board. No,
Thursday no mule act
okay.
Until Bill Nabano.
What relates
it is okay. Then they can respond.
Naka me ya prem ho.
That be to we charge ya no pa na afina.
Oh, but say me in program no be shemu no. Be say me the free Saturday o.
Eh sir.
Na be am de kokwesi ada. Because Saturday me Saturday me krada. This me krada dia me ta charge pa. Especially that me say black no. And then ya say go to akra. Oh 10:30 don't worry. Me jeep a year free a GM hall mutin. My proposal 10:30. Why yanko? Who's wrong? No. Okay, yes.
I think budget in the dog akeka ho nsem baby.
Yes.
I was on the security issues and sana. I am getting worried because let me feel as a country no. Sa no me ya femu no by this time no e be improve. Now it looks as if say trend no course says this year no say mo per se you invite you be wo NIB and national security you be a na akoye Friday Inti ya the nipa no tomorrow by Monday to Tuesday no because like I say Friday Saturday Sunday the course system be anywhere What the Nippon Kokra because 48 hours in Tia Billing. And you're right. As a country, no, Sir Rambo style experience and America 2009, she come Mokoche, Honorable Stephen Asamabu attending the Wabro Mutu Kwai, airport. Woyomi case by no Makofa, Obi Amwa, Woyomi Nankasa almost our first car crampono. Not on them system anymore. By the way, I know Obi Kachem say it is likely say Woyomi Baba Airport chairman or one institution there, Kebehu, by the time I catch him. Yes, and so I mean, under this President Mama, anything is possible. Very reliable. But if you have Richard Jakpa, who was dismissed from Soja, good. And the one that yes, that was special operations. I'm saying I catch us. I'm worried because Peter, we share the current security setup now. President Mahama their bus system ni musisi ana. Eyako yes incrophobia or more vindictive mindset be towards the old appointees and show because and no na me tieti nsem bi na say incrophobia to say God in Richard Japa already na kasa na court me boy yeah and some way copy appeal court say case ni discontinuity and discharge your money sir in man then uko yoko sisi and run am say MV Benjamin issues no cocaine issue okay at that time no na come yeah the number yoko as a technical advisor to what's your operation yeah and the Remodacha as deputy the director general exactly deputy executive director no Bianca sir ya can't confide say they feel say omo bibi omo vindictiveness because Remodacha no but Remodacha vindictiveness trade first we hear from he's moved on that's fine say state property no but Osha no me put there me can Benindego dey god no dey Benindego on say for time the cocaine issue be by ya 1 year no nti no na William Agozo ya okonya ku yusem ya Yamiadum court discharge no matter say is a director of human resource national security na see the OC display of course see the OC display after retired police agojo on director of human resource and manpower see the OC display of all nyasa ngetwa it's as if they are coming after some people and they have lined up names it started with Ken Oforiatta I'm saying say former appointee BI Bonia I'm Randino. Yes. But how you invite these people? Internet send this lawyer Penika so the outgone governor has set up security system since the operations of the bank will be monitored every day. I mean it doesn't really make sense. But all these things, it looks as if say they are doing it to satisfy the base. Yeah. Because they never thought under any circumstance the current minority debate me take over the parliamentary system like that. Into Yanya no maybe to suppress the people. But at the end of the day, Gordon, say, who calls to the state security agencies pursue your supposed enemies or more engaging in corruption? When it gets to the court, now say you be proven any person so the lawyer back. I want to know say party for no, they are rather going after their government because I know evidence they say will provide it and the BSC be brave. At least MPP put the head in Krampoda. Opunum case ni ade no yentimi enwie no mokoye but NCA William Tebimono at least omotimi secure conviction into wetimi aka say nkofo bi mo na ato esien mo ni ade minim say ato esien na sem say omo person omo man pardon no say wa tro ayi na ono kwa ask so what that prison hon mo but at least the MPP government was able to secure conviction 37 military hospital for Mechiamo why Mechiamo pa was able to secure conviction into NDC for they should remember they betimodu so yeah every baby can own penny as Attorney General. We will jail them. How dare they? To the extent we are frustrated. That time the party chairman, there are several ways of killing a cat. It is good to be inviting corrupt officials, but give them a fair hearing. For Moko Court, no more so far. I'm surprised the so-called Orana Martin Pegbu who they did bridge. She's like I am maintaining can say Martin Pegbu. Now, Afina. The deputy attorney general say they are still gathering evidence in so that they can start prosecution. They created a certain impression with this whole thing. No be as a government, Waba, obviously people have engaged in corruption. Try as much as possible. Say we hear the right thing. I'm not kasa. I'm say the same deputy attorney general. Srimsai. I think now he's talking too much. Srimsai. And Robert Kaso wako visit Eduwahin on any but I think they are fine and there is nothing happening.
They are so much in
I'm watching it. And no much man no free UK bedroom airport.
I say what that Yoko list is.
Yes. And no more watching a work cantonment near down for be fee. On watch another person account. No more you
no former NY National Service Boss Mumu Fana no Enra no Munino.
No, but Asare no so na signal bureau guy no Munino.
No Munino.
No more than Yabe can.
Oh.
It's no on issue statement say they are okay.
Replacement.
Yeah, there.
Power system no. Ye kwa no be replace you.
Say football.
133. No.
Of course, into what include no. I would think say as a government amaba no. Mon try na munja is Richard. Yes, even within the NDC, people are even complaining that looking at this guy and track record in the history, there are some question marks. You can't place him at a place obey me function better. But say no question minister Samuel said this week on my visit to be in a Rambo style. No, so could be fear indeed. Oh, searching in panifia. Wait me a question in panifia. Why do you go first? I say. Over 10 of CCTV camera. Until you gave a very good example. So when you are robber, Unko Bifia, Unko Cheche watchman, and then of course. So when you operate like that, then you are not going in for a professional job, but I say you are going to attack the person. And because as a minor, your side history nibi.
Okay, you don't kind. It's what that's with them.
Yeah, or them.
I do buy here. And then the wife. And now you see there's another person.
Yeah,
it's a
Mauli. And no much the Yen Mauli no. Guy and the much in the airport.
No, so.
Yeah, much no. But
I don't want to see a more Hubiana.
No, someone say Nick allegedly or engaging financial crimes and not Mamina beneficiary. But you see, Nana Akufo-Addo, the current Yoko executive director.
Yes.
He was promoted to a deputy executive director under Nana Akufo-Addo. 2024, yeah. But she would appeal. Mama Bayano or executive. There are the people, so many people in the setup and the system. You can't even tell who they were working for. And no, our man instruction. And I think this one, based on the SU airports, and gidi at least I'm picking man in a very professional. I think what Peter Cannon. Remorse actually lead this operation. Yes, and so far we haven't had any road staff. No. I said so far we haven't had any round staff with this car. Obi away we know. But say we could be fear could boost CCTV camera now. But yeah, obi car now we CCTV camera. We have gone through the system.
Governor, almost 5 feet cars.
It's at 10,000.
And
decent. And this is a former governor. Of course. Say, I would also appeal to the and I mean they have gone appointees.
Yeah.
As a cleaner. When they invite you, no more inviting that. So joining
you see, maybe Pacho, Facha me by but what you Jimmy said.
Of course.
Why no walk out